Pat's run. One number rises above them all.
Mr. Pat Tillman raising hell again.
42. It's more than a jersey number. It symbolizes what Pat Tillman stood for. Leadership, courage, sacrifice, and heart.
Pat could be a chameleon to who he was with in all the great ways.
All racers, please start making your way to your corrals.
Pat had morals and ideals that he followed. Never strayed from them. He always did the right thing.
It's etched on the walls of Sun Devil Stadium, standing watch over every game. It's worn on the backs of thousands of runners on race day. A sea of 42s, moving as one, carrying Pat's spirit forward.
You might love him because he was an incredible student. You might love him because he was an amazing football player.
We never lose at home! We kick the out of it, baby!
He was many things to many people, but I do think that one of the more powerful things is his ability to connect.
Please start making your way to your corrals, lining up. We are a mile, 15 minutes from our start.
Being in the crowd just makes you want to cry. It's so great just being surrounded by all those people. Seeing all the 42s, seeing all the age groups. It's really amazing.
The race itself is shaped by that number, 4.2 miles, honoring Pat's journey. A .42 mile dash for the youngest among us, teaching a new generation what it means to live with purpose.
Those people cross the finish line, each one with a story. I often say you can't run this race without knowing about Pat Tillman. And when you bring your children to the race and you do it, they're learning too. So here we are 21 years later.
And as the finish line draws near, every runner enters the stadium, crossing the 42-yard line, the very heart of where Pat once played, once led, once inspired. At Pat's run, 42 is more than a number.
I'm a veteran, and she helps train me and support me, so she's out here supporting me today too.
I'm an alumni, and I actually went to school with Pat.
Well, being a veteran myself, right, I like what he does for the community.
Honor.
Hero. Just great to be around people that celebrate him and his legacy.
I always get emotional when I'm here. I've run it every single year since the first one.
Pat Tillman is one of my idols. He was a really good guy. He just did everything right. He had a passion, and when he did have a passion, he always fought for it.
You see all walks of life, young and old, seasoned athletes and families, newcomers and veterans, united by a shared inspiration. Since 2005, the journey has gone from 1,000 to nearly 30,000. Childhood friends, college classmates, and those forever changed by Pat's story gather to celebrate a life lived with passion.
He was amazing at helping other people raise their own bars. He was one of the more confident but humble people I've ever known, and he would lead by his own example as far as life goals and achievements.
Let's give a round of applause to Pat Tillman.
It is so humbling on race day. I feel like the best part of the day is you've put all this effort in, you get here at 3 o'clock in the morning, as the sunlight comes up over the horizon and you see people arriving an hour and a half early, you know, all the work that you've been in, the reason that you're putting it in, and the reason that all these volunteers are here and now people are showing up to honor Pat Tillman and the things that he did.
What's going on, Forks up? Let's go!
There is no race that compares to Pat's run. For me, standing in the corral, I think about the stories of the people. It's the child that's wearing the oversized Tillman shirt that's tied on the side. It's the ROTC cadet that's carrying its unit's colors. It's the veteran that's wearing the worn-out OEF hat. It's the family with the shirts on, remembering their own fallen. It's the scholars that come and want to be a part of and feel what Pat was. And it's Pat's family that's here that gets to honor him.
We get our butts out of bed early. We do it for Pat. And we're in a sea of other people that are all coming together for the run, seeing the 42 shirts from years past. It's always just so special.
We joke about that he would never be talking about himself. He would just do things and other people would talk about him for what he'd accomplished and the example that he set.
He brings out the good in everyone, the people that show up year after year, or the people just trying it for the first time. And these are the best of the best.
guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand you hit pretty hard.
No, not me, different guy. Nice.
You can't talk about Arizona sports without talking about Pat Tillman. A Sun Devil with a gritty spirit, a determined attitude with a curious mind that was always wanting to learn more. He forged an unforgettable legacy where athletic greatness met academic excellence.
One thing about Pat that's, in talking to the family, how proud they were of his academic accomplishments. We have his transcript in our Hall of Fame on display. I don't know many student athletes that have that. He is arguably the greatest student athlete in our history. Before he was USA, he was ASU. And we're so proud of the fact that so many people gravitated towards him at such a wonderful time in our athletic department history. I think when you met Pat, he was everything that you wanted your heroes to be.
So Pat and I went to college together here at Arizona State. I worked for the media relations department in athletics when he played on the football team, and I spent a lot of time covering the football team with my bosses at the time, and we got to know each other. Pat was very real. Nothing came out of his mouth that wasn't true. If you didn't want to hear it, that was your problem because you were going to hear it. He was just very truthful and very honest, but he was also very collaborative in nature.
I was the head athletic trainer at Arizona State and working football when Pat came in as a freshman football player. Took care of his injuries, and he had a couple during his time with us, and it was a unique relationship. It was really interesting because most athletes, you tell them what to do and they do it, and Pat, you had to have a reason for doing it. You had to conceptualize why your thoughts were there for him to follow through, which was really, it was refreshing.
I think the neatest thing about Pat is he related to everybody, and everybody was important to him. If you were in a circle with him, he made sure that you felt welcome. I think one of the unwritten or unspoken things about Pat that a lot of people don't realize is he was as good of a follower as he was a leader.
Pat Tillman's legacy lives on. His story ignites a ripple effect of compassion, empathy, and service, inspiring countless others to make a difference. A life cut short, yet an impact that continues to educate and inspire generations.
And on Saturday, does anybody know what Mrs. Noel is going to be doing? We are going to be walking for a good cause.
I'm Alicia Noel. I teach at Litchfield Elementary School. This is my 29th year of teaching.
We now have a Pat's Run to honor him.
When you say who Pat was, that he was a professional football player, that he was on TV, that he's famous, my kids can relate to that. And he decided to just give up everything to protect his country. As an educator, it comes like naturally to inspire kids to, even if they're struggling on something, to get them to want to try harder, do better, succeed.
You're welcome.
What we do now is we honor all the things that Pat Tillman represented. We're kind of doing a win-win with helping out Tillman Scholars. All that money from people paying to do this race goes into scholarships. And those scholarships are for people who have served in the military. And I get to help these scholars chase after their dreams.
Mom, we're not even a mile in. How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel fantastic. The first year we did the race was in 2016, and it started out with Kim and her daughter, and my daughter and myself. We didn't know what to expect. It was electric. It was just like, man, this is a good vibe. Everybody there has that same positive energy, and it's contagious. It's just that feeling you get. We started with just 2 teachers. Now it's 20 plus. I would like to inspire my whole school to do it. Since that first year, we've been hooked ever since, and it's a tradition.
Pat Tillman's love for those who mattered most ran deep. Every friendship, every bond, uniquely forged in the fire of his presence. Fully engaged, fiercely loyal, and driven by a pursuit of doing what's right.
The Tillman family, my family, the Hill family, we all went to the same elementary school, middle school, high school. So I remember Pat and the whole family, honestly, as long as I can remember.
He was always the one that would say hi to everybody going by. He was always more interested in others than he seemed to be in himself, but he was always calling his friends, checking in, and had more questions about us than he would let us ask him about his adventurous life.
He loved life so much that people like us thrive together. So that's what made it our friendship so fun, but that's why everybody felt like they were his best friend. And
for their first Pat's Run, our oldest was 3 months old, and certainly a bittersweet reunion of so many friends and families. And now our 3 boys and us, we've been to every single Pat's Run.
How's the run?
We miss him so much and find, we find some comfort, I guess, in the way that he's still bringing people together.
Year 21, about 30,000 people out here in the Arizona area celebrate and represent the Pat Tillman.
One of the many attributes that I appreciated about Pat was his ability to focus and goal set, and seeing him take those steps to get there was, really inspiring.
After Pat's passing, those who knew him best were determined to honor his legacy. So a small circle of friends got together, and Pat's Run was born from that simple act.
I go back to Seattle 2004 in January, and we had dinner that night, and I just remember him going through the whole building from top to bottom, wanting to get to know about everybody. And I asked him if he wanted to do a video for our freshman orientation the next year. And when he looked me in the eye and said, I'm going to do whatever you need me to do, when he passed, we needed to do something. It was apparent.
His good friend and brother-in-law, Alex, got 4 of us together and asked us, what could we do to honor Pat? We needed something unique. We needed something challenging. We needed something that people could do to celebrate. And finally, it's like, Pat would run. He ran a marathon. Why don't we do a run to honor him? The race had to be 4.2 miles. The kids' run had to be 0.42 miles. We needed to end inside the stadium on the field on the 42-yard line.
I'm like, hey, that sounds great. Good luck. I think I might have said, okay, hey, if the foundation can help, you let me know what you need, but okay. I don't know that I really doubted him, but on the other hand, it was nuts. No one does 4.2 miles. No one's going to let you in Sun Devil Stadium. And fast forward, the answer always to that from Perry was, it's Pat.
That 6-8 months leading up to the race, I feel like we were literally flying by the seat of our pants, grabbing at straws to figure out what this could look like for the community.
That first year was, beautiful and sad. Maybe that first year was more of a, not necessarily memorial, but more sadness. And sure, we were celebrating.
That morning was super emotional. It still is. We knew people were coming because people had signed up, but to see those people there, to celebrate our friend and celebrate what we put together to honor him. It's 21 years later, and you can see that meant the world to us, to me personally, and it still gets me.
Every year is better than the year before, and a chance to celebrate my friend and a lot of other people's friends, and to celebrate Pat and the person that he was.
I don't know if I personally would have had the confidence to do everything that we've done if it wasn't for that dinner. It was a special night, one that I'll never forget. Somewhere I still got the receipt.
The reason we're talking about Pat, the reason there's Pat's Run, the reason there's a Pat Tillman Foundation is because he lived.
Pat Tillman had a gift, the ability to bring people together, to find common ground, or respectfully challenge it, and almost always to ignite a sense of purpose that went far beyond the individual. His legacy is a testament to the power of unity.
Great to see the whole community coming out and supporting Pat's Run, the Pat Tillman Foundation, supporting over 1,000 scholars. We're 2 of them, making changes in business, education, law. What is it, legacy in every stride? That's what we're going for.
As a military spouse, I really appreciate all that the foundation does to support military families.
We have a nonprofit housing organization out there that we started a couple years ago.
His intensity, the passion that he brought to everything that he did, I want to bring that too to everything that I do. And so reconnecting with a community that's tied to him and his memory is really inspiring and energizing for me.
Pat's Run was created and ultimately ended up becoming the largest fundraiser for the Pat Tillman Foundation, which fuels the passion of those who serve. From the Tillman Scholar reimagining shipbuilding to a documentary storyteller, our first responder, and our veterans, these leaders embody Pat's spirit of service and leadership, driving lasting impact in the world.
like electric out here this morning. How can you not feel great about it? It's such an honor to be a Tillman Scholar and be a part of this community of nearly 1,000 humans that are active duty military veterans and spouses that are really all here for one thing, and that's to make an impact in their communities. I remember where I was when I got selected. It was 2014. I realized in that moment what I was a part of. It was so much bigger than a scholarship, so much bigger than an ability to help pay for graduate school. For me as a Tillman Scholar, we're all selected because we demonstrate scholarship, humble leadership, service, impact. When you get together at Pat's Run, I think all of us are here to do that in some way.
It feels like it does every year. The energy is just unimaginable.
On the back of our shirts, it says Tillman Scholar. And I don't know that a lot of people know that the Scholars are here in Tempe for the race. And so people will ask, like, what's a Tillman Scholar? And it's an opportunity for me to tell them what a scholar is and why we're here and what we represent and to thank them. I didn't know Pat. It feels like I did, over time because everyone I'm surrounded by gets to tell his stories and keep his legacy alive.
Every year it's like firefighters that are suited up from head to toe with everything, and they're doing this. You talk to them, they have a story. Like, you've got the people that are rucking and they've got a story. And so I'm just excited about people's stories.
I received a scholarship in 2016 when I was a med student. All you have to do is look at Pat. You find out very, very quickly that if Pat was anything, he was unapologetically himself in pursuit of trying to make the world a better place. It's impossible to walk away from Pat's Run without having an energy inside of you and an inspiration. Not just because, Pat lived, but because of everybody in this community that has been moved and impacted by him.
One thing we do know is that Pat's impact will live on, inspiring us to keep pushing forward his legacy. It's a promise and a call to live with the passion and courage and to give more than we take.
The peers make the decisions in this program, and one of the best parts of the thing that they've done is the kids race today. They voted to have every single member of our football team at the kids race today, so all the kids can run with our football team today, which was a pretty cool gesture for them. They wanted to do that at Pat's home.
When he was around, life was better. And he was still around now because of his legacy of something he did in life was connect people. And he still does that. Aside from being a dad and the partnership that goes into that with my wife and raising 3 young men, the most meaningful thing in my life I've ever known is my friendship with Pat. In the olden days, you could see Sun Devil Stadium. Now you can't. You just kind of have to look at your watch and hope you're close. Sometimes it's my son, sometimes it's my nephews, right? And you're like, okay. And then turning into Sun Devil Stadium and I guess we just found out my favorite part.
There's no greater privilege than to cross this hallowed turf to finish this run on the same 42-yard line where Pat Tillman once played.
You really get to feel like you're a part of something really good because everybody knows his story and that's what brought them there.
To see what it's grown into and the impact that it's having with Tillman Scholars out in their communities making a difference, keeping Pat's legacy alive, in turn, in a way, that's become part of my legacy too, and that's super important to me.
It still brings a tear to my eye on that day and that time, knowing that, gosh, these people are here living the legacy and developing the legacy down the road.
Something terrible happened, but we're sitting here 21 years later. There's not many things where you sit there and go, we did this right, and we did this right.
You can't be at Arizona State, you can't live in the state of Arizona and think of the word leadership without thinking about Pat Tillman.
Somewhere inside we hear a voice, It leads us in the direction of the person we wish to become. But it's up to us whether or not to follow.